Yeah, a little bit. A little bit. Nothing.
Doesn't sound like nothing.
Oh God, I'm so. I'm pretty sure there's a way I could split my screen and my main monitor into like 3 parts, so I can have like over here, one thing down here. I probably could do that right now.
Probably, but let's not touch it yet. Let's finish the show.
We're streaming right now. People can hear.
I can hear me. I was checking the audio.
I'll say this though: this is the best our cameras have ever looked. Ever.
It's because it's not Discord. It's not Skype.
It's not Skype.
Hashtag fuck Skype.
Fuck. So done with Skype. Skype. Can we go burn it after the show? Like when we start after like the show, you and I just take Skype out back and listen to gangster rap and just hit it with like baseball bats. Can we do that? Is that something we can do?
I don't think we can beat an abstract entity.
I mean, have we tried?
No, to be fair.
All right.
All right, are you ready to do this?
Fucking born ready to do this. Let me pour my energy drink into my icy cup.
If you were born ready to do this, we would have just spent the last 40 minutes trying to screw with Skype.
Listen, I was born ready to do this. You know what? I wasn't expecting Skype.
No one ever expects Skype.
It's like the Spanish Inquisition.
Yep. I'm like even half done my drink already. Akmorn is saying no energy drink. You're trying to fix your sleep.
I know. My problem is I'm falling. Is that it? I'm trying to fix it. I'm fixing it by trying to stay awake longer so I can regulate it.
No. You should sleep after the show and then wake up in 6 hours because it's still another 6 hours away, isn't it? Yeah, the live letter is still 6 hours after we finish this show, so you might as well sleep.
Maybe, I don't know. They'll probably the game and then pass out at some point. Anyway, we should start this bullshit.
I mean, I'm in a game because, 2 a.m. isn't enough time to sleep. But 5 a.m. your time, that's enough sleep.
I can go back to sleep.
But you won't.
I don't know what I'll do. Something. I'll do something.
All right, well, let's February 9th it.
Oh, all right.
Fuck you, it's February.
Oh, I got double on that. All right, good. Well, that's a good test. I know that was going to come through twice. Good, I won't do that during the show. Let's start the show. So let's actually start the show. Mute you. Mute this.
I just want.
Dear God. Today is February 9th, 2018. This is episode 67 of Maelstrom Radio.
Maelstrom Radio. With your hosts, Flatus and Shinder.
Welcome to Maelstrom Radio. My name is Flatus. With me, as always, this host has got a house in New Orleans, and he thinks I should get there sometime. Go fishing, throw some beads, see what happens. New Orleans.
I don't know if I'd really want a house in New Orleans.
I mean, it's great music, great food.
That's true. I've never actually been. Need to go there, try the food sometimes. It might be a little wet though sometimes.
You want to
probably go in like dry season,
like Maelstrom Radio meetup.
Like If we're gonna do a Maelstrom Radio meetup, we should do it here because it's warmer.
Well, I mean, sure. Like, all 3 people would meet us out there.
I've already had a few people be like, "Hey, you're really close."
Yeah, but if we do a Maelstrom Radio meetup, fans will want to meet. No, nobody's gonna come out to that. I have whiskey, by the way.
Ockmorn would come out and say hi.
Ockmorn would come out for Pokemon Go and be like, "Well, you nerds are here. See ya." Just keep walking.
Unless there's a raid nearby, then she would stay.
True.
A good raid. Anyway.
Hi, welcome to our show. It was a clusterfuck getting here, but look, our cameras look cleaner and crisp. This is a first. Like we're in high def.
It's like super special.
Yeah, it's like Maelstrom Radio HD.
You can see all of the lovely stuff now.
Yeah, it is February.
Fuck you, it's February!
Fuck you, it's February.
Is that not double recording?
No, it's not double recording. Is it recording at all? Like, that's really the question. That's a better question.
We'll find out after the episode.
Well, I hope not. I mean, I can cut out like large chunks and paste it into places. I choose not to, though. As he says, as he does things that are pain.
Anyways, I guess I'll jump into the news as you go and do things that are not on screen. We have a couple pieces of news today. Let's see. I actually probably should have paid attention to this before we started, but we've been spending the last 40, 50 minutes trying to get Skype working.
I'm drinking now, so I don't know what the hell's going to happen by the end of this episode.
I'm half done, but I'm not drinking whiskey, so... we have the Be My Valentine creative writing contest. Love is in the air and in the ether. The community team would like to challenge you to share the secrets of your heart by writing your favorite NPC a love letter. Make sure you're between 100 and 300 words. Your character's name and world has to be in the submission, and you'll receive a selection of available in-game prizes. Go ahead and enter that. You have until... Why do I not see a date on here?
Everyone's like...
You can enter it from until February 16th at 7 p.m. Pacific time.
That is not apple juice. Yeah,
apple juice. I'm worried. Although I could see apple juice in a whiskey mix.
Right. I mean, they have apple. Whiskey. They have apple flavored whiskey.
I've tried some of that, and it's absolutely disgusting.
Yeah. That's why I'm just drinking straight whiskey. I'm not pulling a Dean Martin. Like, give me a little bit of time, and I'll be over here like, how lucky can one guy be? I'm just like sitting there singing crooner tunes.
I found this raspberry beer, and it's got a really, really plain thing. It's delicious, though, so.
Something live letter 42. Don't forget your towel.
Yeah, our second piece of news here. We have a live letter that is set for about 7 hours from now. So the 40-second live letter from the producer live is going to be broadcast tomorrow, or about 7 hours. Actually, less than that. It starts at 1:30 a.m. Pacific, which is about 6.5 hours from now. We will be here live. I'm not sure if we're going to stream it. I'm not sure if Flatus will be awake. I'll be here. I'll be in Discord at least. We'll chat through it. We're going to be learning about, finally, the Forbidden Land, Eureka. We're going to hear some Q&A about patch 4.2, and they have a special guest this time, which is going to be awesome because it is sound director Masayoshi Soken.
Yeah.
Soken's going to be on live letter, and that's just great.
It's going to go down. Live letter time.
You're going to fall asleep during it?
I'm not going to say I'm not going to fall asleep. Everything's still working. We have some community news. It's a certain. I think we should wish happy birthday as a non-Mimi thing.
It's Awkward's birthday today?
It's specifically today. Thank you, Awkward, for being your birthday today. Specifically today. I'll raise a glass to that, I guess.
I would give Awkward one of these, but she's currently a decent amount of distance away, which is probably a good idea when I say happy birthday.
Mm-hmm. Fair enough. I hate you guys. Well, on to other news. Flatus is, well, me, I'm going to be Flatus. Flatus me, being me. I'm going to be on Weekly Countdown podcast this week. That's tomorrow at 5 p.m. Eastern. And I get to thank Para in chat. Para, thank you. The host of that show is like, I need I want guests, and who, so someone suggests one of your favorite streamers who I should have on my show, and Para was like, Flatus, which is the only person that comes to my mind. I was like, oh god. This person sought me out.
Fair. When I think of streamers, you're one of the only people that come to my mind too, because I don't really watch a lot of them.
True. But you know,
time.
I'm also one of the few streamers that'll stream a whole game about sentient corns. So
Maze was great. I love that stream.
Maze was the listen. I love Russian Bear. If I could get Russian Bear as a stuffed animal, like as a plushie, I would. Why do I exist? Why am I a thing?
I think I'm slowly getting my stuff set up, and I want to start trying to stream some of that stuff. But we'll see.
Mace is great. Oh, Janks was great. Inspector Janks. You missed Contradiction.
I did miss.
Contradiction was hilarious. It was so good. The whole time I was like, first I was like, this is gonna be cheesy, and at the end of it, I'm like, this is the greatest game. It was a point and click adventure.
We basically said the same thing about Maze.
I know it started off really
bad. It looked terrible,
and
then yeah,
all of a sudden a Russian bear.
Well, all of a sudden talking corn, and then the Russian bear.
True, and the talking corn had to tell us jokes, bad, terrible jokes. Sentient talking corn. Oh, so anyway, speaking of talking corn, let us speak about our main talking point. Digging through the content we've gotten so far. So we're going to talk about the content we've gotten so far in 4.2, kind of dig through it, what we like, the mechanics, and we'll kind of give it a Maelstrom rating. I don't know what that rating system is yet. We'll make it up on the spot. So,
8.
Yeah, all right. Out of 8?
No, it gets an 8. I don't know what it's out of, and I don't know what that means, but it's an 8. Solid 8.
Out of 87 Eorzeans, we rated a 3. Fractal Continuum Hard. Continuation of Fractal Continuum. What did you think of it?
I really liked the environment in the zone. Like I thought the design was really, really neat, and it was a kind of an evolution on when we ran Fractal Continuum originally. It did make me really, really sad though when we ran through it. Because
we were chasing Ixali through. Why he was
just
passing on.
It wasn't the Ixali. It wasn't the whole storyline for Fractal Continuum Hard. It was the fact that it reminded me again that Azizla and all of that zone, that artwork, that lore was just, there was so much there and so much interesting stuff, and it was never really used. Like we had this massive zone of Azizla and the entirety of Heavensward. We were there for like 30 minutes, and then every now and then for another quest. But like you didn't actually get to experience that zone or that story as much. It felt like it was rushed at the last minute towards the whole thing. And this is just kind of another reminder of, hey, here's all this elegant tech, but you don't really get to see it or deal with it anytime.
Yeah. Which you're right. It's a little sad. I hope. I mean, how many dungeons were there? There weren't a whole lot of dungeons in that area. So
in Azizla itself,
yeah,
or
Azizla itself.
We like had 2? The Warring Triad, Fractal Continuum, and the Aetherochemical Research Facility.
Maybe we'll get 8. No, we didn't have an Aetherochemical.
No, that's a story dungeon. Well, I guess they could make it they could make a non-story dungeon version, but I'm guessing we probably won't see that.
Who knows? I don't know. I'd like to see more out of Azizla because it was such an interesting place to be. Like it was essentially a floating city made to avoid the flooding, and like I feel like it was just completely underused. Like we just used it for weapons, and we were barely there for weapons. Like we stood mostly in in Idleshire for weapons. So
Yeah, to me, that whole zone and the lore around it was like, even Tiamat was there. Like, there was a lot of important information and a lot of lore that was dropped on us in that area, but just we never really got to experience it to the same level that we got to a lot of the other zones.
yeah,
And it felt like it wasn't given its fair share of screen time.
it needs more. It does need more.
I did love. I'm not going to spoil too much for this dungeon because I really want people to experience this. But I really, really, really love the Minotaurs in the dungeon.
The Minotaurs are great. The Minotaurs are pretty great. They're
That
pretty.
was probably my favorite part of the dungeon.
It was probably my favorite part of the dungeon as well. Running through and you're just like, oh, okay, this is the thing. Yeah, they are.
What's going on? What's going on? Oh shit!
Oh shit! Oh shit! Oh shit! That part was fun. They also threw in some of the boss fights were really good. I think they did some interesting thing with the boss fights. I'm not gonna do the story, but I'll talk about one of the bosses. One of the bosses was essentially like a mini watered down version of fighting all three of the Warring Triad. Which was actually kind of fun. Like I thought that was gonna hit really hard. I was like, oh, this is that hard. I got really scared. I was like, oh. I was expecting like triad like primal level of damage, but no, it's not. It wasn't that at all.
Honestly, between Fractal Continuum Hard and Hell's Lid, I think Fractal Continuum was the easier of the two. This patch.
Yes. Yeah. For sure.
There was a lot of interesting mechanics and a lot of stuff going on, but there really wasn't a lot of stuff to heal. There wasn't a lot of extra stuff, and I had no problem keeping up with my really outgeared character. Or like, I haven't played in a few months.
So we caught up fairly quickly.
We caught up to last patch. We're like 325-ish now.
Whatever. We'll get there.
We'll get there.
We'll get there. Talk about other things. All right. Well,
on Hell's Lid. Unless, sorry, if you wanted to keep going back to Fractal.
No. I was gonna say my next topic was Hell's Lid. Boy, was that a hoot! That was a lot of fun. I got to give credit. Both of these dungeons pretty damn fun. Like they were both pretty solid dungeons. There
was some interesting new like environmental effects there, mechanics that they brought into this, which I thought were really, really interesting. And I definitely want to touch on that when we later talk about primals. But there was a couple of interesting mechanics, although I don't know how any of this stuff is possible, but we're just going to go with it's either Ether or it's the Echo. We're going to blame it on the Echo.
Fair. Fair.
I don't know how you said drop in the middle of the lava and that whole thing. That shouldn't.
Warriors of Light.
Echo.
Warriors of Light. Something. Crystal babies.
The only thing, the one thing I was really disappointed about with Hell's Lid is we didn't get to see more Lava Scorpion.
We didn't get a lot of Lava Scorpion. We did get like
there's Water Scorpion, but no Lava Scorpion.
Yeah, Lava Scorpion's third cousin, Water Scorpion. So we got Water Scorpion. What else did we get? We had Hellish Naked. What were they? Hellish Naked Snails. Hellish.
Yes, we had the naked snails. Yep.
Yeah,
And we also had the bird things.
Yes, the burbs. I don't
remember what they were, but yeah, you know what they are.
I know what their names. We got to fight a giant turtle. That was cool.
That is true. The giant turtle was the best. Little anticlimactic, I think. Afterwards, like the actual fight itself wasn't anything terribly. Like, it was really, really interesting mechanics. It was something new that I don't think we've seen before. But once you figured that mechanic out, there wasn't too much more to the fight, which is fair, but it is what it is.
Yeah. I'd like to see if they ever did a hard mode of Hell's Lid. I would like to see if they took that mechanic and like really stepped it up, or even use that mechanic on a primal and really stepped it up, like really like watch where it's gonna go.
I don't want to spoil any of the story around this because it does have a really interesting story. And without spoilers, what happens after Hell's Lid is my favorite part of the game, patch 4.x and up so far.
So far, yeah, not
Yeah,
through in story, but
4.0 and up. But that is my favorite part.
I would say like out of the patches so far, I'm not gonna dip in the story, but like out of the patches so far, like, you know, just give everybody a heads up. Like next week we'll talk about story and like live letter, but for like hands down 4.2 is probably my best, like my favorite part of the Stormblood story so far. Just like they made things really interesting. Like I got really, and then like I don't want to ruin, like I can't talk about it. Next week we'll talk about it. Next week. I promise.
Yeah.
I'll dive.
As far as patches go, I'm not sure if 4.2 would be my favorite. I still think I liked 4.0, the actual expansion itself, better than 4.1 and 4.2. But like with Heaven's Word, patch 3.3 was probably one of my favorite patches that we've had in this game, when we had Nidhogg and that whole storyline. So I'm really excited to see what 4.3 is going to bring and if it's going to have that same sort of impact. They've kind of started laying the groundwork for it, so we'll see what happens.
Mm-hmm. How would you rate the dungeons? I don't know what the hell our ratings is. Would you want to see to swallow these all now, or would you like to wait and like keep going?
I prefer if the seed didn't swallow Hell's Lid because that steam explosion probably isn't going to end well.
It'd create all new land masses.
And yeah. Thus authored was created.
Yeah.
I enjoyed the dungeons. I didn't think they were anything. They were pretty good. I don't think that they were something extremely amazing that's like every game should replicate this or this should be the level that we hold dungeons to. But at the same time, I think they were pretty good. They were fairly standard Final Fantasy-esque dungeons, especially for 14. They introduced some new mechanics, which I thought was really cool. They tried a few different things, which the team always seems to do, which I think is awesome. But are they something that like everyone should go and look at?
Maybe more interesting. Well, I would say that they're blending. They are definitely blending more of like they're taking away that here's a dungeon for dungeon's sake, like they did in A Realm Reborn and Heaven's Word. And this is more of here are these dungeons, and here's the reason why you should be running these down. Like the story is ingrained for whatever. Like it, the reason. Like I'm not gonna say like 3 weeks later, 4 weeks out that when we're only running these two dungeons, where it's like goddamn. But you know, initially giving us these like how they're delivering the dungeon and the explanation of why we're running these dungeons is a lot better and clearer this time around, I think, than they've done in the past. So
yeah, I think the lead up in the lore to these was done really, really well. And I really like the fact that even though the dungeons were, at least Hell's Lid and Byakko were both gated by the main story quests, they weren't blocking the storyline quests. Like you completed a certain portion of the main storyline, and then you could unlock the quest for the dungeon, but that dungeon itself didn't block your continued progression in the story. So that was a little bit different and almost like an evolution from what we've seen in the past, where you'd get to the point in the main storyline quest, you'd have to do a dungeon and you'd be stuck there until you could actually get a group to do it and to clear it. And you'd have a lot of people that'd be, especially coming up later, who are trying to catch up, that wouldn't be geared for it. They wouldn't be able to do it. So seeing Square Enix kind of bring it back, and it's like, yeah, there's this awesome dungeon, you should do it. There's some cool stories, some cool lore, and some really awesome cutscenes and interactions you get to do. But you don't have to do it right now. We're going to let you kind of go through the story. The whole story can be done pretty quickly for this patch. Yeah, I thought that was a really interesting take on it. And some people might complain or not like that as much, but I think it was a really good move for Square Enix, especially as 14 gets older and more people are trying to catch up and do all this. Like already you have to pay $25 or whatever to catch up to Stormblood itself. Now you also have to go through Stormblood. Like there's a lot of time investment if you want to get to that end game.
Yeah. All right. Speaking of getting to end game, Byakko. What do you think of Tiger Man Tiger?
I enjoyed the fight. To be completely honest, I'm very hesitant about going and doing a lot of these things. mostly because I've been out of the game for a while and
Mhm.
I'm not as familiar with my character anymore, and I'm way under geared. But going into Byakko was a lot of fun, and I really liked the mechanics. I did die the first time that we went in, mostly because I missed one thing and got myself kicked out during a mechanic, and both healers died at the same time, so the entire thing wiped. But we got it on the second pull, which was great,
Yeah, we did.
and I want to go do it again.
Yeah. Oh, it's so much fun. Tiger Daddy, if Tumblr is to be believed. Tiger Daddy. I don't know.
I just want to point out that Leek and Para have both mentioned that Twitter and Tumblr have thoughts on Byakko, and I really don't want to bring those into the podcast because our podcast has already like a PG-13 R rating. We really don't need to raise it higher.
You mean we shouldn't talk about the tiger with the dude Sona?
We really don't want Daddy Tiger in here.
Daddy Tiger.
I mean, look at chat.
I mean, not one. You know, it's funny. I'm sad no one used Byakko at one time ever said like dropped a they're great. Yeah, like not one Tony the Tiger Froster Flakes.
Because no one likes Tony.
Why? Oh, we're just doing awkward. Are we just doing awkward silence?
I'm just gonna leave that in case. So, what did you like about Byakko?
I the bullet hell shooter mini game that we had to play in the middle.
Yeah, that was pretty much the highlight.
Oh, that was dope. So I was like, at first I was like, all right, this is just the same thing we normally get. Like this is just all right, dodge this, stack here. Oh, he does this thing where he grabs the tank, like the off tank, and then you have to go and stack where the tank's going to be slammed into the ground so he doesn't insta die. Got it. Which makes sense. Yeah, in his palm hand mouth. And you're just like, all right, well, let's go on and do this. Let's see. And all of a sudden he's like, that's enough, fucking tornadoes. Launches you into the air, and all of a sudden it's like pew 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 pew, shooting like red balls at your face, and you're like, I gotta dodge these dodgeballs. And you're like, all right, that's a lot of fun. Just don't hit the edge because you can fly off. You can zoom right out of there.
I really like some of the things that they're doing with these primal fights and the trial fights. They're really, a lot of them are pretty fun, and they're kind of trying different mechanics that they can with this, which I think is really, really cool. And we might be able to see some more stuff come from that. Now, I can remember way back when they were doing a talk about how, like Leviathan, because Leviathan was a really interesting fight back when it was first released. They had like the whole thing tilting to one side or not whenever Leviathan hit. They had the railings fall off. Like they had all these different things with it. And I remember the developers talking like how they did it, because you've got a flat plane that everyone sits on, and you can't really do this all the time with the plane or have it flip around. And like we saw the same thing with Sophia when the scales hit and the whole thing balances to one side or not. And when they were explaining it, it's all just camera angle, really. Like they changed the camera angle, the whole thing looks like it tilts, it doesn't actually happen. And so when they had this whole thing with Byakko and the shot up into the air and everything, I was kind of watching it all, and it's kind of cool how they make it look like it's something completely different. But if you look a little deeper, you're still the exact same playing field, the exact same everything, but it looks and feels completely different. And I'd really like to see them explore that more. Like we saw that with Zervan as well. We saw that with Byakko. We saw that with a few other ones too. Well, I can't think of them off the top of my head, but yeah, I think these sorts of mechanics are really awesome.
Yeah, the idea behind giving us, they are really exploring what they're doing with like these primal fights, and even with original like Deltascape, like those fights were really interesting. And we haven't stepped into Sigma yet, which we'll get into. But the idea of like, oh hey, let's put this like bullet hell shooter into the middle of our fight and like have people dodge things midair, and like an arrow, like no aerial combat, but like dodging like Byakko's like beams and stuff like that. It's really interesting. It breaks up the monotony of the fight. usually when Square Enix does like their primal fights, like their older primal fight, it's always like, hey, here's this one piece where you all have to like group up and like dodge this big, massive hit, and like let white mages or like healing put down bubbles, and you just like try to absorb as much damage. And then that's like your break to catch your character up, like TP and MP and all that stuff wise, like so you can get this little catch up. But like that part in Byaku is that catch up, so they're expanding their ideas of like, let me not keep you on this one plane and just like hit you with a big thing. Let me toss you into the air and like let you dodge and create these new mechanics, which I think is really interesting. That's really breaking outside the mold of what like MMO like boss fights could be. They're really interesting. Like I gotta get like we would like to see things stepped outside of the circle or outside of a square or whatever the arenas are. I would like to see more of that, but keep doing this. Like you're nailing that out of the park. Like if you guys can break out the circle arenas, like that'd be even better. That's what my only complaint is, that you start breaking out of the circle arenas.
I know we haven't touched Extreme yet, but I have seen a few reactions on Twitter, and the Extreme fight seems to be pretty good as well for this.
Yeah, same. Like, we'll jump in there. Speaking of jumping in there, can't jump into Nada. Nada can't jump. No, maybe they can. I don't know. Have you seen an Anata jump?
Not a good joke.
Not it.
Yeah, anyways, Beast Tribe quests.
The Anata. The Anata quests are actually really fun. I think they're interesting that we're not building up the tribal area. They were not building up their home like we did in the past for a lot of the other beast tribes, but this is more of a let's build up the gate and build up our reinforcements and build up like this little like army, like this little militia area, and impress one's mom.
I am liking the kind of story behind it. I don't want to spoil too much on it because I know there's people that haven't done it that want to do it, but it is really, really interesting to see a completely new area. We're not helping the beast tribe so much, but we're helping someone specifically in it at the same time as we're kind of helping rebuild the area, which is really neat.
Yeah.
So the quests are pretty standard, I think, for beast tribes. They're not too special or not, but eventually you do get access to a flying elephant, which again, I'm going to somehow explain that it flies because of the echo.
Oh, I thought it was going to use its like Dumbo ears, like it's like Dumbo.
No, the elephant literally just gets up and flies. Like it doesn't have any animation special. It just kind of walks along. Like
it's not an elephant noise. What was the? I can't do it. What? Imagine an elephant noise, and I'm like people listening later. Just imagine an elephant noise, but I'm also holding my hand up, and it kind of looks like no, it doesn't. It kind of looks like a long-necked bear. What the fuck happened to this show? What happened to us? Uh-oh. I had a button. It's fine. It's fine. It's okay. It's not on that screen. Like Racefelger? What? Real quick, Para in chat. I'd love to see have a primal fight where you have to jump from platform to platform to avoid big hits, kind of like the Devil May Cry boss fight or something. We did that once.
Like Racefelger? Yeah. Or the end boss for that one dungeon.
Yeah, we had a fight.
I believe it was Hullbreaker Isle.
Kind of, but on a bigger scale. Big scale. Think big scale.
Bigger than a dragon?
Bigger?
Racefelger is pretty big.
Yeah, it wasn't tiny.
Bigger. I don't think we fought something that's bigger than that outside of maybe Bahamut. And that was a raid.
Bigger platforms. Tinier
bigger
jumps.
Dragon. If we have a bigger dragon, it's probably going to be named... I don't think Rauger is a dragon, Para.
Midgarsormr. Midgarsormr is a pretty big dragon.
No, there's 3 of them. One's the ghost dragon thing that we already killed. One sits on our shoulder, and one we sit on its shoulder.
You guys got a bigger dragon? Well, no, Shinryu is bigger.
That's true. Shinryu was pretty big. And we did have to dodge a lot in that fight.
Yeah. Good.
I'm one of the
Yeah.
weird people that wants to do that fight again because I've done it like 2 or 3 times back when it released, and I haven't done it since. And I
Really?
love that
I got
fight
it. I got it so many times. How did you only get it 1 or 2 times?
because shortly after it released, I ended up going on a trip and then going away and then moving and didn't really get a chance to play.
True. True. We're back. We're back.
We're back
We're back.
half a year later.
But you know, same old bullshit. So, well, welcome, I guess.
I like to think that our standards have risen a little bit in 6 months.
We've got. Oh, it has. All right, that's good. It's good to know.
You want to talk some shit?
Our standards have gone up. It's, you know. We have a choir putting it in your mouth now. Our standards have risen. We have a choir. We have acquired a choir.
I never said our standards were high, just they were higher.
Oh.
The bar is really, really low. In fact, we might have to dig it out of the ground.
Yeah.
Don't wake the snake.
Don't wait. What the? All right. Anyway.
Don't mess with the whole snake.
Oh, you know what? It's I don't have anything for the whole snake.
No, the whole snake was our own creation.
I know. I wish I had something for the whole snake though. I mean, if anything, I guess this is the closest thing for the whole snake.
Get in touch with your wizard.
Get in touch with your whole snake.
Anyways, since we're not talking about the Ananta anymore, and we're talking about walls anyway, we have housing.
Where you can put your whole snake. Just put him in your house. Put him in your house.
Oh, it's even worse is that you've decorated our entire FC with the Paisa house, which has the little bully pieces going.
Yeah,
everywhere.
Look, wait, hold on. I think we can. Do I have it? If I click this button, I hope this. Yeah. All right. So yeah, everyone can see it now. I can show everybody our background. I forgot I made that scene. We can still talk, like they can still hear us. But yeah, that's our house. That's the large that we have in the goblet. Sultana's Breath, Ward something. Plot 43, Ward 16.
I'm working on changing it.
Yeah, he is. But look at all the payaso. Look at it. Look at it. It's glorious. I got it such a deal on that house. I got such a deal. I mean, less than 80K. Less than 80K for that whole thing. That's not, I mean, normally it's millions for that. Less than 80K. That's a steal. For monkeys? Look at those monkeys. All deadpan shit. Our house looks like psychopaths live there, but we have that sweet steam bath over there in the corner. If you see that on the right hand side,
Is that wrong?
that we have a steam bath out there.
No, that psychopaths live there.
I mean, I have a throne in there. Like, wait,
Did you move my picture though?
no, it's right behind the throne.
Okay, that's good. As long as it's there still.
It's there. You gotta go behind the throne. Look. So put it back. Let's put it back on this. Psychopaths do live there. It's true. It's true. What it is. It is what it is. Yeah, we got a large house. Did the housing system work? Yeah. Sort of.
Yes.
Sort of.
There's been a huge blow up on Twitter and a huge blow up on Reddit, which, surprise, imagine that Reddit blew up on things.
Yeah, that's...
I'm waiting. I predict next week Reddit will completely forget about this and blow it about something completely different.
Probably. So
Safe bet.
I'm not going to talk about what happened. I'm sure if you were on the internet this week, you saw. I'm not going to give into drama, talk about it. But I will say this: loopholes were found. That just means that they can go back and readjust the system for next time. That's all it means. They're just. This was the first time at it. They didn't some group of people found a loophole, and it sucks. But it's just digital housing. At the end of the day, Shin and I ran the FC on Gilgamesh for how many weeks now? We raised the level to buy our own house. Housing was ridiculous. I was trying to buy
month and a half.
I may have been trying to buy a house, and but the housing prices that people were offering me were astronomical. Like I wasn't gonna, and I said, you know what, screw it. I'll see if this system works. I got a house. It was easy shit. Like it was really easy. Like, did I go for Shirogane? No, that would have been a mad house. I was like, listen, what was more important to me, securing a large house for my group, or securing a large house in the most popular ward? Even though I was like, I can just get us a Shirogane house. I'm giving like we just put that castle up and get that and be fine. Or, you know, like Deadpan Payasa. So but at the end of the day, I mean, you know, they all busted their ass, raised money for us, donated a lot. Like a lot of the people donated a lot of money to help us get this house, and I wasn't gonna let them down a second time. So I got it.
And I know like a lot of people are talking about like there's a lot of people having issues finding housing and stuff. I can't speak for other servers. I know that there's housing open on a lot of servers. If I remember correctly, even Balmung still had a bunch of houses open. I know Gilgamesh, there's no larges open, but I was still seeing lots of mediums and small plots everywhere. In fact, our ward is mostly empty. Come join us. I remember logging in to kind of look for this house as well as soon as the patch came out, and like even Shirogane, there was tons of small houses. There was even a few medium houses that I could see. Like there's so yeah. Paris says that there's a ton of smalls open on Balmung. There's even a few mediums in the Goblet there. So like, it's not so much that there's a lack of housing right now. Like yes, there is some abuse with it with the FCs, but there's still a lot out there. So yes, you might not get the perfect house. You might not get the spot you wanted. You might not get a large. You might not get a medium. You can find a house if you really want one. And at the end of the day, like we've talked about this before, FCs and housing as well with this really aren't too special in this game, I think. And there's a lot of room for improvement for them. So at this point, if you don't have a house, you're not missing out on a whole lot. Likewise, if you don't have an FC, you're not missing out on a whole lot. But if you don't have one, you should come and join us on Ether.
Yeah, please. I mean, you're missing out on us. Really, that's what we're like. You're missing out. You're not missing out on like content, but you should join us because you'll be missing out on us, and we're actually the reason why you'd want to. Actually, you probably want to join it for the other people. They're great. We have people like we got people from Brazil now. Like we have 2 people from Brazil. We have 2 people, another couple that are getting married. They're setting up like they want like the whole FC to come out for the wedding in game. So you know, hi, shout outs. Para is here. Para's in the FC.
Para logged in. I mentioned something about housing, and then Para logged out yesterday.
I know. Yeah, Para. God, Para. Sigmascape this weekend. Yeah, because we didn't do it yet, so we'll probably maybe, probably, maybe. I don't know. Aether Static, Umbral Static, Umbra Static. We're getting
it's Umbra Static.
Umbra Static.
That's my name.
Yeah.
Para, if you need money, let us know because you know, like, money. We might have some left.
Like for what though? What do you need money for, Para? That's the question.
For housing, to make stuff for housing, so that Para can like decorate everything and make it less ugly.
I hired Emmy. Have you seen Emmy's work?
I have not.
Emmy's work is fantastic. Go check out Emmy's houses. Emmy's learned because Emmy's learned from Wanderer, who does all the housing decorations for you know, ASR.
Stage Reborn.
A Stage Reborn, ASR, yeah. Not ASMR, that's Asmer. Anyway. So you know, Sigma. So you know, that's
we'll check that out.
That's what was that? Was that the haunted phone we ordered? By the way, we
was
bought,
wondering where this is all gonna play into.
We bought a haunted phone. We took what little Maelstrom funds we had and said we could probably do some more back-end stuff and really get this show like secured on a safe server I got some good statistics coming into us, and then but no, we spent it on a haunted. We were like, I was on eBay, haunted phone.
Would you say it's for training?
The haunted phone. Yeah. Let's see if they call back. Let's see if they call back. Hello?
Hello, yes. Hello, Flatus Shinta, this is I. Lord, former Lord Harshaphont.
Hi, Harshaphont! How are you? How have you been?
You know how death isn't grand, but I make the best of it. It's not easy being me, as one would say. Believe.
I bet you're dead. That sucks. You know, I wouldn't want to be dead either.
Well,
There's a little tact.
you know, when we got here, it's a complimentary shrimp cocktail.
Complimentary shrimp cocktail in the afterlife, eh?
Yes.
Okay, that's good. That's not a terrible thing to have. I like shrimp cocktail.
It's part of the whole welcome to the afterlife. It is a shrimp cocktail. And then you like a little tour on the place, a little tour.
Oh, you go on a tour when you get there? That's kind of fun.
It's fantastic. You know, you could have been here.
No.
You could have been here with shrimp cocktails and the tours and the afterlife, and I could have been there, not dead.
Oh, yeah, I know, but you jumped in front of the magical spear that struck your abdomen and killed you in front of me. So you took one for the team.
No, my pleasure, my pleasure. Oh, the touch, the smell,
Bad touch.
breathing, and that would be also a true gift of a friend. Can you,
I can't bring you back. I'm not a healer.
I don't know if it would be possible, but could you maybe get me out of here? Because I don't like it.
Harshaphont, I think I'm losing you. And then, okay. Okay. Harshaphant's gone. Everybody, Harshaphant's gone. We lost Harshaphont. That
Again?
yeah, we lost. So I don't know when the next time we'll use the haunted phone. I can't call with the haunted phone. It just calls us. So I mean, I can probably
Can I holy it?
Yeah, maybe. Let us know who you want Shin to holy through the haunted phone to get a phone call from. They have to probably be dead.
It kills it. Holy kills the haunted phone.
Oh, let's not do that.
You know,
Let's
like,
not. No,
holy,
we
evil, good,
oh, the bomb.
evil.
Oh, well, it's not evil. It's just it's just haunted.
You call it black mage.
Well, okay.
It's a black magic sort of thing.
What about a red mage? They can do it. Verring.
There we go. We need a red mage on the show so that we can verring it.
Verring it. 1-800 call Verlect. Vercall collect. I don't know. It's fucking red mage humor. You got any closing thoughts?
Really can't close after Harshaphont.
We can't. I mean, we'll never know what's. Maybe he'll call back in the future and tell us what's going on.
We tried closing the big gaping hole and that didn't work. So.
No, I mean in his body or.
Yes.
I'm
So my closing thought is going to be FanFest is coming out later this year. Who is going to be the next big monument that we create?
Like in there? Like
yeah, like last FanFest we had a big monument to Harshaphont.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, or are we just gonna create another one to Harshaphont?
Maybe
we're gonna have this whole like Game of Thrones list sort of thing of all the people that have died going through your head.
Shinryu. Short-lived. Papa Limo. No, too soon. Too soon for that. What's it?
No, I was thinking of the other guy.
Not Papalyma? Who?
I don't know why, but the name is. You know those times when you're talking about something and then you completely forget that thing that you were talking about?
All the time on this show. All the time. Are
Xenos.
they? Oh, yeah. I mean, sure.
We could have a monument to Xenos
Yeah.
because everyone likes him.
Here lay Dragon Daddy. No.
We're just gonna have a whole someone's gonna bring to FanFest like a giant cardboard cutout of Xenos and Byakko and whoever else we get between now and then.
Yeah. His thickness will carry on.
Thickness must be purged.
Yeah, thickness must be purged. All right. I have no closing thoughts on the current content. It's fun. Go play it if you haven't played it already. If you're catching up on the content, you're gonna have a lot of stuff, a lot of fun stuff to hit up. So we've said it before. We're gonna say it again. Dominant Umbra is the Greg FC. That's the official where we're at now. We're in Gregamesh, Gilga Greg. And you come join us, hang out. You know, come throw an alt in there, come throw a main character in there. If you're not happy on your server, or you want to come over to Gilgamesh and hang out with us, you're welcome. We have a large house, we have plenty of space. Come hang out with us. Things we need in the FC. Crafters would be nice. Wealth would be another thing. I like wealth. More people. More people. I like people. We have great people so far, so if you like hanging out with good people, just come along and join us. We've been doing
very good people.
Yeah, we do. We've been doing pony runs, getting people their ponies.
We'll always have.
Yeah. Trying. And I want to say a big shout out to the FC itself for helping us get the funds together to get the large house, and I'm happier than ever. Everyone is still donating to help us decorate, so because that's not going to be cheap either. We have a lot more space. So hi Ikey Spikey. So Ikey Spikey came at the last minute of the show. I feel so bad. So you can find us here on Fridays at 9 Eastern, 5 Pacific, unless our Skype or whatever decides not to work, and then it's gonna be later, but it should be 9-ish. We could find our recorded shows on iTunes, Google Play, and Stitcher. Our stuff is updated. Our RSS feeds up, and all the shows are up there. And so we're gonna hit you up and let you know, please go out there and give us a rating. That helps us. Steve from Seattle, aka Wanderer Sabaku.
Oh, is that who that was?
That's who Steve was. Yeah,
that kind of makes sense now.
It does it, because I was like, listen, that was still an awesome review. And he still meant it. He was like, no, I still mean that. I'm like, thank you. That's not just a friend telling us. He really did mean that. So yeah, no, if you have iTunes, if you have Google Play, please go out and rate us or give us a thumbs up. Or if you just use Stitcher, thumbs us up, share us on your iTunes, your Twitter page or Facebook page. To tell people why you like listening to Maelstrom Radio. Tell us, we try not to be the same. We try. Clearly, we'll put money into haunted phones. Other people will spend money to try to make their show a better product. We spend money on trying to keep, we want to stay in the basement. We're trying to just really, this is artwork. Really, this is artwork. You gotta admit, nothing before this existed. Nothing like this existed in the Final Fantasy XIV world.
No, it didn't.
And then after we're
there
long
might
gone,
have been reasons for that.
And after we're long gone, nothing else like this will ever exist again.
It's true. We are 1 in a million.
But you can also find us on maelstromradio.com. The new website is up. You can go listen to our stuff there. We can actually post blog posts and stuff. It's gonna be great. It's gonna be nice.
You can comment on them too if you're really.
You can comment. You can interact with us on our site. It's great. You should really check it out. We shouldn't put a lot of work into that.
It also lets you subscribe to Google Play and Apple and iTunes and all of those fancy things as well.
We've got buttons. Also,
Big buttons.
yeah. Also, if you're not on Twitter, you're like, I want to get on your Discord, but you guys don't like tell us what your Discord. We don't have a fancy like Discord link because we're not like super fancy on Discord. Like Discord doesn't like us that much. I wish Discord liked us that much. They don't. But you can go to our website and click the little Discord button that we have up there. I believe we have a Discord button, right? Like, do we have one of those nifty Discord buttons? Or do we have a Twitch button? I forget which button we have. We have a button.
We have neither button. There is a link for Discord though at the top of the page.
There you go. There you go.
So
If you click
feel free
that.
to come look at Discord.
Yeah, come look at it, what we're doing in there. Sure it's not healthy for anybody.
Terrible.
Yeah, you can find us on Twitter at maelstromradio.com, and it's maelstrom_radio. So that's not twitter.com. Damn it. Twitter.com / at like maelstrom_radio. Like, God damn it. I know where our Twitter is. I use it every day. You can find us at facebook.com / maelstromradio. And then you can find us on here, twitch.tv / maelstromradio.
All of those links are also on our website. If you forget, it's maelstromradio.com. You can find all of our Twitch, Twitter, Tumblr, Facebook, subscribe links, all of those sorts of things. Email.
Yeah, you can send us email. You should send us I don't know. Send your questions to maelstromradio.com. Send us like, hey, I need Maelstrom Radio. I need life advice. Send life advice questions. We'll read it. We'll give you life advice. I can't guarantee it's gonna be good, but we'll give it to you. Send Maelstrom Radio your life advice. And then if you want us to commune with the dead, let us know who we should try to reach out to and see if they call the haunted call the haunted phone. That phone may never come back on the show again. That phone may be buried. That phone may be haunted and never come back.
Exercise the hell out of that phone.
I don't. The best part of the show is that phone. All right, well, Shin, I guess you could say goodbye to everybody.
Goodbye to everybody.
I do one
Got
of
a channel,
these,
Caroline.
do one of these, and I can do this. They can play our outro, which I like. You're saying stuff they can't hear you, but it's fine though because they can hear me. So, I know. Thank you all for joining us for episode 67 of Maelstrom Radio. Catch us next week for episode 68. We're going to talk the story and this live letter that's coming out. You should seriously come and join our FC if you're feeling like you need some fun times with good people. Check out our FC on Greg. So, with that being said, as we always say here, till sea swallows all, keep listening.
Maelstrom Radio is a production of MaelstromRadio.com, Blackfire Media Productions. Final Fantasy XIV and Eorzea are trademarks of Square Enix. Opening theme provided by Benjamin Anthony James. You can find more of their music over at SoundCloud.com /Ben773. Our outro is provided by Sodo. You can find more of their music over at SoundCloud.com /Sodo. Views and opinions expressed on this episode are those of Maelstrom Radio and their host, and do not reflect the views and opinions of Square Enix. And until sea swallows all, keep listening.